Hi, my name is Heather Mackey. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today we are talking about self-care. The inspiration for this talk came from the TV show Queer Eye. I've been without TV for many moons, and without Hulu, Netflix. A lot of people are like, I don't have TV. And if you watch Hulu and Netflix, you have TV. That's modern TV. Cable isn't really TV anymore, um, but I've been without that. I've just had I've had DVDs. That I've had a source of TV. The same. It's just been less options. A lot less options. Thank God for libraries. But because of that, I just haven't had it be a regular part of my consciousness as far as like what's being offered through modern day television, through Hulu, through Netflix, through these various prime TV. And I now have all those resources at my fingertips, and many things I've tried to watch, and I'm like, this is much too violent and aggressive for me. I like, even when I play my video games, I play them 100% good. And it stresses me out anytime I have to fight. I'm just like, oh, because for me personally, I don't want it in my consciousness. And that kind of stems from the teaching of the book Illusions by Richard Block, but neither here nor there. I was watching Queer Eye because it is happy and is talking about self-care and is talking about self-love and is talking about messages that really matter in the modern age. Important things like, hey, do you care about your environment that you live in? Hey, do you care about the way you are presenting yourself? Is it a match to your inner spirit? Hey, do you care about your skincare, your health, and your wellness, the way you're taking care of your vessel? You know, are you tending to your presence in the world? And not from a vanity standpoint, but from a caring for the self, loving the self, being kind to the self standpoint, which I love that message. It's a great message. It's a needed message. And I'm grateful to be receiving it now. Thank you, TV. Some of my messages that come through, I'm like, wow, did I just say that? Thank you, TV. Amazing. So what I wanted to invite and invoke for me and my fellow man today, my fellow brethren, and sisters and theys for the allness, is to really think about self-care and your relationship with self-care. The first thing I can say that a two-legged could do to really serve, if you really have been talking about self-care or have been like, I really one day want to practice more self-care and want to be self-loving, or read all these things about self-love and I'm trying to practice that. I want to be more self-respecting. I want to honor the self. For me, it becomes the first step is to become informed about what's currently going on for me. So there is a film called Social Dilemma. If you are on the current modern TV, there is I think it's on Netflix, something called Social Dilemma that will talk about the psychological profiling that is done through social media to continuously garner your attention. And your attention is your most precious commodity. And we all two-leggeds are trying to find balance with their attention. How do I use my attention to serve my job, to serve my family, to serve my four-leggeds, to serve my intent for myself, to serve my gifts and talents, how do I balance my attention? The first thing that is needed to practice self-care is your attention, is your precious, precious attention. So watching Social Dilemma can cause you to garner awareness of how social media, like right now you're engaging with it, I'm garnering your attention. It can invoke and invite you to perhaps set a timer on your phone. I'm going to get on Facebook. I'm going to get on Instagram. I'm going to, twiddle my thumbs with Twitter. I don't know what the words are. How do you twit? Is it twittering? Is it tweeting? I don't get it. I'm not on that platform, but beautiful. I'm going to, whatever. I'm going to get on these things and use these formats. I'm going to set a timer and just choose to get off when the timer's done. You'll get back on later, probably, probably later in the day, frankly. So just get off and garner and give your attention to something else like self-care. Set a self-care timer. Another movie that's really helpful to watch is Zeitgeist Addendum. Although I don't agree with everything in that, or the movie Zeitgeist, the movie Zeitgeist Addendum, which came out after Zeitgeist, will help your awareness understand other ways your attention is being garnered through the modern effects of our capitalist society. So it'll help you to understand, if you don't already, how that paradigm very strongly engages your attention as well. So you can take back your inner authority, take back your power, and choose to say, actually, I'm going to start affirming to myself that money comes to me easily and in many different ways, and I find my attention is often used for fun. You know, you can also choose to be the powerhouse in your reality and make an alternate decision once informed. So those are some things that are informational that help to aid the self to understand, wow, my attention is currently being garnered in this way, yes, no, or this way, yes, no. And that's interesting. I'm going to make sure that some of my attention goes to me. And you know, I'm a very service-oriented being, so I'm also going to make sure that not all my attention is outward focused. Some of it's going to be inward focused now. First thing I do in the morning, I got a copper drinking vessel, which is an Ayurvedic practice because the copper vessel infuses with the water, and then you wind up drinking some copper with your water. And that is a mineral that the body needs that most of us will not get in our diet in the modern age. So the first thing I do before I wake up and drink my French press, which you get to choose your vices too. You know, it's a diuretic, it's caffeine, it's not the best. But I start by drinking water out of my copper vessel and offering my digestion activation, so that coffee is not the thing activating my digestion. It offers my my aging body greater fluidity, decreases the viscosity. It helps to, it'll aid my skin care regimen to be drinking water. It aids my digestion. It does all kinds of things. So, and also coffee is a diuretic. It means that it pulls fluid off the body, will cause you to urinate. So starting by drinking water is adding water in before I drink something that relinquishes water from me. So that's a self-care practice that is really pretty simple. I just bought it. I carry it around with me throughout the house, throughout the day, but it's next to my bed every night so that when I wake up in the morning before I do the Artist's Way morning pages, I drink some of that water. Then I make my French press. Then I drink my coffee. For me, I was not taught a lot of self-care regimen. My mom at times worked 2 or 3 jobs. She was involved in lots of spiritual focus. She was, to me, just a phenomenal woman. You know, I pray constantly that I may have the grace of being even half the woman she was. I know I'll be a phenomenal human if I achieve that. And but self-care is not typically a focus for a woman who has her 3rd child, and once that child is 17 months old, she loses her partner and has to raise all 3 kids on her own. Work and the children become that person's focus. And so one of the things I've been learning in life and through Queer Eye is I need to care for my face and for my skin. You know, I need to hydrate my skin with lotion. I need to care if I floss or if I brush my teeth. I need to make sure that I have a good hygiene practice. So I went and got myself a facial regimen that I want to do, and that is now around my sink. And I have, there are amazing little things of floss that you can get at a health food store that use very minimal packaging, and they even have like charcoal versions of it. But so this becomes something that I need to put in my attention. So I find my attention is at the mirror in my restroom. So I make sure that the tools are available to me to care for my vessel, to self-care for Heather, because I am the steward of this ship, and I am the only one to ensure that that self-care is happening. For some people, self-care requires plate cleaning, what I call plate cleaning. Plate cleaning is where you have given your attention to too many things. It's great to have lots of desire, and it might be great to just make a list, which I have a list of my desires, like, hiking, yoga. One of the things on there is Billy Badass, pardon my French, but that's where I take some of the sticks I have in my house and pretend like I'm in a kung fu movie. Practice balance, practice fighting techniques. Painting is on there. So all my desires are listed. And I just put, they're each in a different color, and I just put a little colored dot, like painting is purple. I just put a little purple dot next to that anytime I paint. And it's on my door so that I consistently am reminded of the life I want to live. It aids me to make sure that those things, that becomes a way that I care for my attention. Because your attention is, there's so many places that would love to have your attention, your precious, valuable attention. And you are one of the places that is very deserving of that attention to go. So one of the things you may need to do to practice self-care is to clear your plate. For a lot of two-leggeds, get informed, be aware of what's currently garnering your attention, see if it serves you. If it doesn't, if you're spending 5 hours a day on social media, if you're spending, 6 hours a day in service, then it might support to step back and say, I'm going to give an hour of this to myself, to my own care, and that care can be painting, it can be hiking, it can be facial regimen, it can be oral hygiene regimen. 70% of your immune system is actually in your gut. And oral hygiene is where, mastication, chewing up your food, this is where all that whole process of obtaining nutrients and being healthy and fit starts. And so practicing oral hygiene, practicing facial hygiene, these are not practices I was offered because I had a mother that was very busy working. And that may have been true for some of you too. You had stewards that had their attention elsewhere, and self-care was not one of the offerings you were given. So self-care can look like that. It can look like blessing yourself up with your own regimen, blessing yourself up with an occasional massage, blessing yourself up with massaging your own body, touching your entire body, using lotion and massaging your own entire body, hugging yourself can be a self-care practice. There are lots of ways to self-care. It really depends on what you value and what you seek to have be present in your life. I would say there's tremendous value in having a self-care hygiene regimen. And that's something many, 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 many two-leggeds will not have been taught to offer themselves because of the zeitgeist addendum current capitalist situation that's going on. No vilification there, just awareness of the truth. So we activate it. And it doesn't have to be wicked expensive. Hydrogen peroxide is a natural mouthwash. It also helps to whiten the teeth. So you can get hydrogen peroxide for 99 cents, put it on your counter, and just say, okay, every night before bed or every morning when I wake up or both, I'm going to use this mouthwash. I'm not adept at flossing and brushing my teeth yet, but I'm going to use this mouthwash. Super cheap, super easy resource. Same, you can get a bar of charcoal soap and just start washing your face. So I want to invite myself, and I wanted to invite you with me, to practice self-care. And we do that by giving our attention to the practices we want to have present in our life. We do that by plate clearing and getting anything off our plate that isn't actually adding to our quality of life, which we are the steward of. I continue to hold awareness for all two-leggeds, stepping more towards self-care, self-love, self-respect. May you find the pathway to activating those things in your life this day. Blessed be.